Hello, and you've probably not heard my voice in quite a bit of time, at least in YouTube time, and most of that is mainly been because I've been so stressed out. I couldn't really think, and I had a lot of things going on at once. So, in light of that, I've decided that maybe I should try and take some of that energy that I was throwing into other projects and for sessions into other things, and I'm just gonna come back and just do YouTube as basically an outlet for me editing something because it brings me back to a time where things were simpler. So, in my random dabblings, I hope that everyone can find some entertainment in this video. It's going to be a bunch of Battletech, but it's kind of just going to be homage to at least half of the stuff I've been doing over the course of the year. So hopefully you enjoy, and for all of you out there that are still watching, thank you. I probably wouldn't post if I didn't have a subscriber base at all, but considering that I did or still do, I don't know if anyone even checks their feed for me anymore. It's been a really long time, but thank you. You've been a blessing, and I will see you guys at the end of the video. Also, this is being recorded way after all of the other stuff, so the mic difference in quality difference is probably because I finally got a filter for this damn thing, and I might have done a few editing tricks. If it sounds worse than later things, it means I learned better editing tricks effectively. Also, I apologize for the thumbnails. I do not have Photoshop anymore. I couldn't afford to pay for it, and I couldn't pirate it. My computer's freaking out. It's a long story. But I love you guys. Peace. Hello and welcome everybody, it's your boy Nando, and today we're gonna try for probably the third or fourth time to try and do a let's play of Battletech today about maybe a year or so after its release. I'm gonna say about probably 2 years at this point. It's been a long time since I played the initial release in this game, and a lot of things changed quite a bit. So, yeah, I'm going to try and get into it. I'm going to try and roleplay it up a little bit, and we're going to see what we can do. However, we're going to be doing the campaign mode, not the career mode for now. The career mode can come later if we still feel like doing it. But for now, we're just going to do the campaign mode, finish that through all the way, and then we're going to see if we can blend into career mode a little bit. So we're just gonna start a new campaign, and now is a new option. We actually have a custom campaign option. This happened a while back, but I now actually get to play with this because I hadn't beaten this game before, so I went and did another run through of it just to make sure I wasn't losing my mind. And yeah, so we're gonna try and do a custom one and see what happens. Hopefully we don't get murdered, but you never know. So we're gonna do a custom campaign, and we're gonna do a few things differently. If people want to see a normal campaign, shout out and let me know. I feel like it's a little easy, but other people might disagree with me. So first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna change the enemy force to hard, and we're gonna put in mechs destruction, and we're gonna put in lethality just in case. And I think that is enough of a combination to make it a little interesting, because now the enemy strength force, yeah, so this just basically means we're gonna fight heavier tonnage things, which is doable. It's just a pain in the ass. So we'll see how that changes things, and we'll see how mech destruction changes things. Alright, we'll see how this goes. Usually I don't get my mechs cored out, but maybe with this new strength change, it'll be a little different. So hopefully we'll be able to get through this unharmed. And I think in a campaign you get access to them rarely, but if you don't have the 2 million, you might not see it for as long as the end of the game. So I have to try and get to 2 million as quickly as I can, and then I have to hold on to 2 million just in case the black market deal shows up. Or if I hire a criminal, I can also get, I think, tech. That's a cool little tip.
I am Kamea of House Arano, High Lady of the Oregon Reach, Protector of Coromidere, and the Sword of Restoration. But I am not a hero, no matter what the stories say. A hero would have sacrificed more, compromised less. A hero would have done better. You know this, of course. You were there.
How am I there? I just started the game.
My
father
used to tell me stories about the ancient times. About the Star League.
Oh, it is a Star League
A golden
flag.
age of prosperity. Upheld by the great mech warriors of old.
Alright.
Guardians of the innocent. Protectors of the peace. I always dreamed of following in their footsteps.
Were they protectors of peace?
I was too young to see the truth
I don't
of things.
know. Actually, I'm gonna look that up.
After all, it wasn't heroism or a noble cause that won me the throne. It was hiring a mercenary, skilled enough, perhaps ruthless enough, to carry the day.
Alright.
Hiring you.
Oh, you hired me already.
I still don't know if you fought for honor or for the thrill of it, for belief in my cause, or just in my money.
I'm pretty sure it was money.
But whether it was your noble heart
almost
or
certain it was
mercenary mind, your actions gave us hope. That makes you a hero in the eyes of history.
That kid looks so confused.
Whether you believe it, that's up to you.
Oh, sweet, we're on the restoration arc. Alright, I guess this comes the part where I do my daily readings. Alright, so it says, welcome to the Oregon Reach. Alright, where the hell is that? The Oregon Reach is a small kingdom in the rimward periphery, a region of space that lies in the outskirts of the more densely colonized inner sphere. So we're in the middle of nowhere. Oh, that's lovely. We're not even in the inner sphere. We're in the middle of nowhere. And it is home to the Oregon Coalition, a federation organized around a paramilitary monarchy ruled by the Arano family. Alright. I guess that's the title of High Lady, even though I have some suspicions that somebody is smoking that reefer in this court in this monarchy, in this rulership. For 3 generations under the rule of House Urano, we have been smoking weed for decades. That's why everyone is peaceful, and this is where your story begins. Alright, decades ago your family came to the Reach from where? Well, nobody likes Greta. You know what? Let me see if I can summarize this into factions that I randomly made up and see what works. I'm not sure what to assign Karita, because they suck. Yeah, they're not great. Free Worlds League. That could be the Maros. Let's see. Federating Sons. Gonna have to think about that for a minute. Was Steiner. Humiliating defeats. This could be... I forget. The name is dropping me right now because I haven't read a lot of the race list anymore. I'll get back to you. Holding the line and surprising opponents who... Okay, so that could be the Tamarins. Magistry already screams of... This screams of, the Maros. Aggressive, so it's between this and I guess these two could technically be the Lycans, but I'm not sure. And these are just people in the middle of nowhere. This is basically, we're in the rimward periphery, so this would make sense. And the deep periphery is like way, way out there. Yeah. So they went through the deep periphery all the way out there. So, I think this is around where the clans are from, correct. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to join the Capellans. And, I'm going to play as I guess I'm just going to play as Mandark from the Tamarins. But instead, we're Capellans in this one, I guess. I don't know. But that's going to be our home planet. We'll see what happens. Alright, you are of noble birth. Okay, it's a little fitting. We'll see what happens. Through immigrants to the Eurasian Reach, your family soon established a comfortable presence in a small backwater system on the edge of Eurasian space. Nice. By the time you were born, your family had become the de facto ruling nobility of the system's only inhabiting planet. You were the oldest child, heir of the family's titles, and ancestral battle mech, an old blackjack BJ1. Alright, a little liable, I see it. This is where you met Raiju Mastiff Montgomery, a veteran of the Succession Wars, whom your parents hired on for a season to train you as a mech warrior. How long is a season, by the way? I might need to look that up, because he's hired me on for a season. Is that a few months? Is that a year? I'm going to take this as a year. They hired him for a year to be my trainer to be a mech warrior, which is basically anyone who pilots a battle mech. Raiju was a strict but capable leader, and you quickly became a skilled pilot under his tutelage. Excuse me. It was an uneventful life, alright. Until the day after your 16th birthday when you were exiled. Alright, well, if we're going to be playing as Mandark, I don't think he was exiled. That wouldn't make sense. Struck out on your own makes some sense, but I don't think he was noble. I mean, I don't think he was pampered. So that part doesn't fit, but the fact that he left his house does. Bankrupt. His family aren't dead, and bankrupt sort of fits, but they didn't have a crazy amount of influence, I guess. They're not dead. They weren't betrayed. We're gonna go struck out on your own. makes the most sense. And yeah, although these aren't the ones I want. Really, if I had a choice, I would pick either Exiled or Betrayed because you get a bunch of gunnery, but we're going to do Struck Out on Your Own because that fits the character more. Alright, out on your own, you fell into a life of a Regan soldier. Okay, so you can be a soldier. Unsure of your prospects, you traveled to Cormier, the capital of the Regan Coalition. You enlisted in the military. You ran through the ranks. That fits. And you get gunnery for it. Nice. Pirate? No. Gladiator? Hates arena fighting. Mercenary? Possible. But not at first. If I remember correctly, he was a soldier first, mercenary second. So, we're going to go freelancer? Possible. And merchant guard is also possible, but these are not the first things he would get. So because I know this, we're going to go with soldier, and the bonus is gunnery. Who doesn't like gunnery? Gunnery in this game is awesome. Until years later, you crossed paths with Raiju Mastiff Montgomery once again. On an ill-fated mission, you were caught behind enemy lines and separated from your lands. Unit right here. So you get separated from your unit. Raiju happened to be on patrol nearby, and he launched a daring rescue. Upon finding out it was you that he'd rescued, he brought you in the House Arano Royal Guard. Haha! Royal Guardsman! I like this. I like this a lot. So it is that you find yourself reunited with your old mentor, preparing your ancestral battle mech for guard duty on Coronation Day of the Lady Camilla Arano. Okay, nice. Alright. Alright, so we already know what the call sign is. Let's see if I remember the name right, so we'll try it. And if I get this name correct and I check my notes, I get brownie points. So we're going to check that probably way after the initial recordings, but I'm going to hope this is right. In worst case scenario, I just change it later. Alright, so Regan Reach left and joined the army. Alright, that works. We've got guns, pilots, and tactics for the guns, and we don't have guts, but we do have glory. Glory is what we're looking for. And I enjoy the fact that they made Mandark in giant letters. Alright, so we're going to confirm this, and we're going to see what happens. The High Lord Tamati Urano is dead. Did he die of an overdose? What did he die of? Was he just smoking too much? Is that why everyone's got the lighters out and shit? They're just like, let's smoke up for our dead ruler. Wait, his brother-in-law is Lord Santiago Espinosa, and he doesn't like the fact that there's a council. Probably because he's a crackhead and he wants his drugs. However, his daughter is determined to not turn it into a authoritarian state for his crack habit. Okay. Like, that dude literally looks like a sinister crackhead. Like, I don't understand. So on the morning of the Ascension, the Loyal Cat... Oh, he's captain of the guard? Sweet. We got those connections. We out here. Out here getting that collection money. Actually, that's a good question. Where's my paycheck? Do I get paid for this? So we're on Coronation Day at the Summer Palace at 8:53 in the morning. I'm going to assume this is military time. Missiles, these are also called LRM, or obstacles if a friendly unit has line of sight on the target, but that goes the same to the enemy too. And if both legs are destroyed, the mech is removed from combat. Those are two very helpful tips they just put in the load animation. LRMs are great when you have things like locusts and scout mechs, because they can basically be looking at them, and then you're further back RS system, and you just go like, phew. It's amazing. And also, if you find yourself in a tight spot, you should probably eject, because losing the pilot is way worse than losing a mech.
Command interface initiated.
Alright, let's see what we got. Alright, so this is telling me that I need to basically use my stuff. Is this tab? Oh, okay, Mandark. Oh, yes, they used it. Yes. All right, Mr. Captain of the Guard, I appreciate you. I had the Espinosa refit yards rush the repairs on your Blackjack. Looks like it is all in one piece, but we should run some diagnostics on it just to be sure. Standard field tests, you know the drill. More importantly, though, I want to tell you more about the job I brought you out here to do. Now do me a favor and get that Battletech moving. Let's see if there are any kinks in the actuators. Alright. Let's see what we got. So, yes, that is tab. Sweet. So,
I wasn't completely honest with you the other day. There's gonna be more to this job than escort duty.
alright, so background on our friend who is probably all the way out here somewhere. I don't know where he is at the moment, but insight on our friend, he's a veteran of the Secession Wars, so for anyone who knows about the Secession Wars, it was basically World War Nope times 11. So the fact that he survived is actually pretty impressive, which, let's hope he's not just being a propaganda artist, but, random informal tutorial. Let me hit escape really quickly. So when you click on your mech pilot or hit tab, you have access to whatever mech pilot's highlighted here. This is the phase, so this is the turn that your mech will move on. This is the heat bar, and this is the stability bar. We'll get into that later. But this is basically your mech's HP, and that goes in correlation with the HP of each individual part, which is listed here. And if you hover over it long enough, it'll tell you what part that is, along with the weapon systems in it. Speaking of weapon systems, we got the weapon systems over here that you can turn on and off at will depending on your needs. And we'll get to some of those needs a little bit later. But that's basically the gist of it. There's your melee damage listed down here. Here's 40 damage. It also gives you a hit range here, and depth from above, which is basically you jump into the air using your jump jets, which is I think keyboard pad 4, but you can, or number 4 on your keyboard if you go through using numbers for this. You can always click on them, but I use numbers on my mouse. I have them bounded. And yeah, it's pretty sick if you can pull it off without extreme risk to your entire strat. But basically, these dots are all places you can move. The further you move, the more evasive pips you can get. However, sometimes you can move a similar distance and get more evasive pips. So it's something to look out for when you're trying to get through the game. Another key feature I can list here, and we're going to turn this stuff off just to showcase it. So I'm going to showcase this as probably your visual range for the most part. This is how far you can see. But when you equip a weapon system, it'll show you the range of that weapon system. So I think medium lasers can go out to this extent over here, but not much, not any further than that. Like, that's probably as far as you could probably try to hit with a medium laser. However, with AC2s, it's a little different. The minimum distance starts here. That's why you see no coloring here. And it goes all the way out here. So this is basically sniper cannons. So if you have someone spotting and you're far enough away, you can just snipe people with AC2s. Which is pretty nice. And if you combine them together, they give you an effective envelope in the middle for both of them, which is pretty nice. I enjoy that. So you get this, which is only AC2s. This is the extent of medium laser range, and I think this is the combined envelope. So if you get anything in this range, you'll be able to hit it. And then you have your line of sight over here. So we're going to move, and we're going to get over here in front of this area to get a vantage point. I brought you here because there's something wrong in the capital. It's been too quiet since the High Lord Tamati's funeral, probably because everyone's fucking baked. And I'm worried about Lady Kamea's safety during her coronation procession. Anyway, it looks like your actuators check out. Let's conduct a weapons test. Target one of those burnt out old urban mechs and set it in open fire. Oh no, poor Urbies. Alright, so a few awesome things. One, You can see their statuses up here as well as down here when they're listed. This is listed for cover, which is not this, but I think this is technically guarded if you don't have bulwark. Some of the icons get a little weird, but you can always double check them here. And trench just means they don't take as much stability damage from my autocannons or any missiles that you fire at them. And this is specific to training targets, which I think you only get one. But this basically is, it's easier to hit than a moving mech trying to evade you. Now, the thing that's interesting is if you right-click anything in your range that you can actually see, it'll tell you the armor rating and effective health of your mechs that you can see and identify. There's another condition where you can see them, but you can't, like, actually, they're not, you can sense them, but you can't physically see them, and that doesn't apply there. But basically, cool little fun tip for those who catch on early. Each one of these segments has 2 effective hit points. There's 1 armor and 1 structure, which is pretty funny. Armor takes damage first usually, and then structure, unless you have like a Gauss cannon, but you don't get that yet. Oh, there's a autopilot module. Interesting. And this is going to be the front side of the mech, and this is going to be the back side of the mech. And it's the same thing for your stuff over here, just to explain it. But since we already know this thing's going to die in literally 1 hit, because all of our weapons do 25 damage, we're going to target this thing, which you can do by clicking on, or you can do the tab meme, which is wiggle. And we're going to open fire using it. You can also click the fire button down here, but I like enter because I can bind it to my mouse.
Enemy mech destroyed.
Good shot. Your guns are in working order at least. You act like you're surprised. Alright, here we got a target dummy. I've been training Lady Urano since she was 14 years old. She can be naive at times and proud, but I have no doubt she'll be a just and effective ruler. It's on us to see her safely to Corda City. I'll rest easier once she's in the capital with her cousin Victoria by her side. Lady Victoria, well, she's only been training under me for a single season, so just like I got trained. But she's already shaped herself into one of the strongest mech warriors I've seen. Reminds me a lot of you, truth be told. Oh, is this my rival or something? I don't know. Anyway, we should run a check on your targeting computer. You see that drone over there? The one moving through the tree line? Put some hurt on it for me. And then when it turns, take it out with a rear angle shot. After it's down, we'll keep moving. Alright. So let me see how much armor this thing has. And pulling it up, it has 112 points of front armor. This has a lot of armor on most of these segments. Oh, there we go. That's why I said a rear angle shot. The rear angle shot is rated for 8 points of health, which if we look at all of our weapon systems, we can only do a maximum of about 125 damage, and not all of these are guaranteed to hit in the same spot, especially since we don't have precision strike. So what's going to happen is even if I fire these all at once, and I'll give you an example, by firing them all at once, I'm not going to kill this thing. Even though I have a 125 damage, and this is rated for 112, this forest will reduce it by 20%, and I think I think it's either a 20 or 40% reduction. So even if I hit all of this, it wouldn't work. So I'm going to give an example by firing the salvo, and I hit the front and the left side. So now that it's giving me a rear angle shot, let me see if I can target it. And if you can see this on the ground, this is telling me which section I am likely to hit. And it does this for all of the enemy mechs, and it also does it for the player as well, but it only does it for a player usually when you're getting shot at. So we're likely to hit this rear angle shot on this really awkward looking target dummy of a tank. And since we're highly likely to do that, and I know I only need 8 damage, And this does 25 and is mounted, I think these are mounted on my arms. Let's figure this out. So these are mounted on my arms, and I have a height difference, which makes this even easier, and my weapon's pretty accurate. So I get a +4 to my shot mod. I get a oh wait, no, long range makes this 4 difficult, so my overall shot modifier is a +1 because of all the stats I get combined. And there we go. So let's see what happens when we just shoot an arm laser.
Targeting spear armor.
It dies! Not surprising.
Enemy unit destroyed.
Nice shot. I don't know how familiar you are with Oregon politics, but the Reach was badly shaken by High Lord Tamati's death. Maybe because he was smoking too much, and they were hoping he wouldn't die. It needs a smooth transfer of power, and Kamea belongs on the Comoran throne. Go ahead and fire up your jump jets, kid. I want to see you descend the cliff face, aim for that patch of ground near the edge of the lake. Alright. So now we get to use the jump jets. And with jump jets, an interesting fact is you can face any orientation you want with jump jets. So if your jump jets go far enough for your liking, you might as well slap them on your mech. Like, if the jump jets go roughly as far as your walk speed, it could go slightly under depending on what you're trying to use that mech for, but if they are roughly your walk speed, that's fine. You should use them. However, if they're not necessarily your walk speed and you're too far under, you might as well use that tonnage for extra weapons or armor. So, we're going to face this thing, and we're going to jump. We're going to see what happens.
Enemy detected.
Of course.
Yeah, it was afraid of that. Jump jets built a lot of heat, and that was more than your engine could handle. Head on into that water. We need to get you cooled off.
Okay, so jump jets do generate heat. However, normally jump jets generate like 8 heat or something. And this is just to show me that my mech is basically on fire. And if you get any higher than this, you'll basically cause a shutdown, which forces the player or character to lose their turn. So if an enemy mech shuts down, they don't have a turn. So what we're going to do is we're going to walk, which takes up the least amount of heat, into this water, which should increase our heat sinking by 50%. This is where it's going to show up normally. What's going to happen is it's going to take another additional 50%. It's going to end up somewhere right here. So we're going to face this target just in case. And it's just telling you there's a plasma leak, which that plasma leak probably destroyed the jump jets. Oh, for the love of all the gods. I love this guy. This is what I get for insisting on a rush job. Not that I had much of a choice. The Espinosa refit yards are backlogged like you wouldn't believe. It looked like they were trying to process every single Royal Guard mech in time for the coronation. That's a little weird, but okay. There isn't any time to get your jets replaced, so we're going to have to make do without them. Go ahead, take that mech down with a melee attack. I want to be sure nothing else is going to break down on your blackjack before we take it on Coronet Road. Now, here's the thing that I'm thinking of. What happens... My phone is now on vibrate. What happens if I melee attack this and I break it while melee attacking it? Is that their fault, or is the mech broken, or am I don't understand how it's supposed to work. But this gives a great showcase to explain another way of getting rid of heat, which is melee attacks. Now, if you have the ability to walk and melee attack, it'll show you how to... It'll basically dissipate the heat that you have, because using melee doesn't actually take up much heat. Only the walking does, and it's a really minute amount of heat. Your heat sinks will usually overcome that. And the water's gonna reduce it by more, so this is gonna be even easier, and we end in water, which makes it even easier. Now, fun fact, this is showing us we're attacking from the side angle. These red indicators are also showing us the same thing. So this is just saying, this is a, if if I'm correct. This is a left side attack. This is a right side attack if it was highlighted here. If it's highlighted both, it's a front end attack, and if it's highlighted back here, it's a similar thing but on the rear end side. So here it's saying we're doing a left side attack, and it's counting for both ends because we're doing some type of sweeping melee attack. So let's see how we do, although I'm pretty sure this thing's gonna die with 2 effective health and a 90% hit chance.
Engaging defense attack.
Really? Oh, it's a training dummy. I don't get guns. Good heat. Good heat. Good hit. At least that's solid. Alright, one last test. I want you to take your blackjack up to a full sprint and evade my attack.
Push that engine. If something goes wrong today,
Okay.
I want to know that you're
So they tell you about evasion up here. I'm gonna try and explain it as I'm doing it. So the further you walk, you gain evasion. We're in sprint mode, so I think we gain more evasion per pip. So the maximum evasion we can get in this is actually 4. So they should have actually put this over here so that you could get the max evasion for it. But instead, they got this. So I'm gonna see if I can complete this without going to mark a location, but we'll figure it out. And this is our trainer. I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to get us to build up evasion so he could shoot at us. So let's see what happens. Nope, he doesn't respond. All right. So we're gonna walk back into the water. We're gonna see if we can get 4 evasive charges here. No, I can't. So I have to actually go from here to try it, which is obnoxious. But yeah, the more of these you have, the harder it is to hit you. And usually 4 is a safe number. Some people with high gunnery will get through 4. So 5 is a very safe number. But once you're getting toward 4 or 3, usually things can hit you depending on how good they are at shooting. So we're going to run and get 3 evasive charges. He's programmed to some extent to miss. So here we go. There we go. He misses our blackjack. And we're forward facing, so even if he did hit us, he'd only hit the front armor. Congratulations, Mandark. Your blackjack is as combat ready as it can be given the circumstances. For what it's worth, I hope that my suspicions turn out to be unfounded and we end the day having a good laugh about what a paranoid old man I've become. But if not, I'll know that you'll be ready. Alright, it's time to move out. Lady Urano is waiting for us at the mech bay.
An impressive display, Sir Raju. Of course, this mech warrior was a student of yours. I'd expect them to know their way around a cockpit.
And this is just the difference between move and sprint. So we're gonna get 4 evasive. It's always a habit to get as much evasion per movement as you can. And we'll see what happens. Mandark, allow me to introduce Kamea Urano, the soon-to-be High Lady of the Regan Coalition. Is Lady Victoria on this channel? For the time being, my father summoned me to the Picton docks. I have a fleet inspection and a tour of the family refit yards to preside over before the coronation. Behold the responsibilities of a noble daughter, a noble daughter, a font of tedium that never runs dry. I know the feeling, cousin. By this time tomorrow, I'll be responsible for the entire reach. Give my best to your father, and don't be late for the tourney. The gambling dens are already taking bets on how long it'll take me to cripple that customized monstrosity you pilot. Now, if this is the customized monstrosity that I think she's referring to, I don't think she's beating that in a Kintaro. Not gonna lie. But we can only hope. Oh, wow, I just skipped one. Yeah. So she's just responding to a roast that Victoria gave her about her old-ass battle mech. And then it said, it will see you at the tourney grounds over the Cormorant Road as the Urano tradition. I, Kamea, will get you there in one piece. Mandark falling behind me, and remember what I told you. Alright.
Mission successful.
That was a very easy tutorial mission, but it doesn't explain a hell of a lot. And unfortunately, that will be it for the first video, as I want to avoid keeping all of these episodes an hour long if I can. I know it is kind of a slow and tedious game, and I'd rather not have everyone go through the insane tedium that is most of the scenes of me reading every single for an hour, basically. So I hope you guys enjoyed just the introductory, and we'll be back next time for the next episode. Peace.